What's up, everybody? This is Jimmy with Trade Decoded. It is April 14th, 2025, a Monday, and another crazy day. As of right now, the market has been stuck in an $11 range. Crazy amount of range, but small compared to last week's movement. And where's it going? Where's the stock market going? Truthfully, I believe it wants to go up. The problem is it doesn't know what's coming, and therefore we are being moved based on headlines, tweets, and everything of the sort. The market feels uncertain, but every time it hears an inkling of good news or anything like that, it starts to move up pretty aggressively. So I think naturally the market wants to move up just because that's what it does historically, but it's not sure whether it's safe to do so just yet or not. With that said, as day traders, we don't really care. Sorry for the people who are long-term investors. You will recover, I guarantee you that. I just don't know how long it's going to take. I personally think no later than the end of the year, we'll be putting in all-time highs again. Hopefully sooner than that. But with that said, we found some great trade opportunities today, starting with this morning's head fake, as we'll call it. But let's go ahead and take a look at the charts and see what we were looking at. So at first, in the morning, we were hoping to take calls. The market was very green today. The market was very green today. Everything was up considerably, and everything looked good to the upside. We do our normal traditional call put scenario. Well, at 9:25, I said, well, as long as the Qs can get through this first orange line, it's 464.49. I'd like to play calls to the upside. However, that happened before the market opened, so we really wanted to wait for a pullback. Now, for the put line, which was aggressive, I said if we get through this most recent higher low here on the Qs, I'd be looking first for a move at least to the trend line. And if we can get through the trend line, I'd be looking then down to 463.12 on the Qs. You can see it right here. If we got through that, as you can see, I set an alert down here on this blue line down here, and that's where I wanted to go. So that's where I held my trade to. But the moment we switched from wanting calls to considering puts was the fact that SPY put in a lower high basically on the first candle. That wasn't enough to say go. ADD started to print red. Still put you on alert for not being aggressive on the calls. That's what you need to take away from that. It's not that we were looking for puts. We were just looking for the right setup to take calls because leading into the open, everything was moving up and looked good to the upside until it didn't. So after the first candle printed and I saw that SPY put in a lower high and I saw that ADD was printing red, I said, I'm not going to get aggressively into puts at least until we can cross this put scenario. Preferably, I'd like a close below the trend line, then we can migrate from there. So whether these folks got in at the breach of the put line or they waited for a candle close, either way it worked out. Now, admittedly, these pullbacks were a little scary because ADD still wasn't really moving down yet. It was kind of in a little bit of a range. But once ADD finally broke down at 9:36, which happens to be when we got to my target, that's when I got out of the trade. Now, that was a 26.8% move. Beautiful trade to the downside. We maintained a downtrend for a while. No candle close above that line. But the point was, if you follow my videos, you follow the rules, we're looking for calls until we close below the trend line. We close below the trend line, then what do we want to do? Normally, we want to get a move below the most recent support after that. So even if you waited and skipped all this pullback mess right here and got in because of the fact that we were down below the trend line and we broke the most recent support after that, your entry candle was right here. You still got to make a good move. And if you didn't get out, I only got out because I set an alert there. And when I set alerts there and get the beep, that's my exit. That's kind of a thing that I got going on. But we maintained a downtrend all the way down. And as we kept moving lower, we were just finding new support levels on the way down, which one was right here, which is why that circle is there on the Qs. We did move down a little bit lower. got through this support, right down to the next support where we couldn't move through anymore. Now, when do puts come off the table? As soon as we close on the other side of the trend line. Does that mean we get into calls? No, it doesn't. When do we get into calls? Well, if we could get above resistance, we'd be aiming for the next resistance up. Okay, so we never got above resistance until here. And when we did, we came close to the next resistance up, but we didn't get all the way up there. So some people did take that trade. And when we were talking about that trade, and if you were in the room, you know what I'm talking about. I told everybody, if we close back below the orange line, you want to stop out there. If you got in here and you want to hold on to the very last minute, if we close below this pre-market midline, because that was the resistance area that a lot of people were waiting to get through, even though it was actually down here, then you don't want to be holding on to calls anymore. Well, why, Jimmy? Because I believe we're likely to move down to the next support if that happens. Now, I have questions. People had questions today. But Jimmy, why would you have taken this put? Guys, it's important to know that I'm in a room with hundreds of traders. We don't all trade the same. Some of them are aggressive. Some of them are trading the Qs. Some are trading futures. Some is trading SPY. Some are trading SPX. But we all have slightly different styles of trading. It's all the same functionality, meaning we still respect support and resistance across the board, but some people are a little bit more aggressive than others. I tend to be more of an aggressive trader. I realize the majority of the people in my community are not, and that's good, okay? So if you didn't take this trade, don't be frustrated, don't be upset. A lot of people asked why it was a suggested trade, why we talked about it, and the reason was simple. If we close below support at any time, what should we assume is going to happen next? It's not guaranteed, but what should we assume? Well, we should assume one of two things. Either we're going to get down to the next support. Here, I'll draw a line here. Okay. Either we're going to make a move down to the next support or to the next, I mean, basically, or it's not, right? So we're looking for a close below support and then a move down to the next support. Now, the only time you would take this trade, if you're being aggressive, is if ADD is printing red candles. Right? There's just momentum. We want to see momentum on our side. Okay? So at this point, we close below support. We're looking for the next support down. Now, whether that is the trend line or the next support as far as price action goes, that's for you to decide. Either way, if you got in here and you got out at the trend line, which could be a form of support, we did get through it, then you still made money. If you think that's a little too aggressive, then you don't take the trade. Okay? Don't be upset. If you don't like the trade setup, you should never take it. I have to recognize that I have traders of every size and shape in our community, meaning some aggressive, some not aggressive, some futures, some not futures, some SPX, some SPY, some Qs, some none of those things. But it's the principles of why we're considering these trades that people are here to learn from, okay? So, as this would have been a stopping point for calls, it could also be considered an entry for puts as long as ADD is on your side. And as long as there's room to the next support to make money. That's it. Aggressive entry. It paid off big. We got all the way down to that level where we did have an alert set, and it held. We talked about that level because we couldn't get through it leading up to 10 o'clock, and that's the first support you should consider. We bounced off to the upside. It was kind of slow, grindy, and then we started to put in lower highs again. Now, the only reason we don't have entries at each of these lower highs is because Trump was due to talk at 11 o'clock. We don't like to trade news, guys. The news is fickle, and so is the market when it comes to news, right? The algorithms are going to react faster than we can, and quite frankly, we don't know what they're programmed to react to. Is tariff a good word or a bad word? It doesn't matter. They just move automatically, quickly, and it creates some crazy moves on the charts as you have seen for the last 2 weeks. However, after a couple of downtrends, and we called this as a lower high. And I said at the time, guys, if it was any other day of the week or we knew Trump wasn't talking or nothing news-wise was happening, this would be a great entry, and we'd be looking for the next support down, which would have been right between these two orange lines. So unbeknownst to me, several folks did take this trade at that time, and then they got to make money. Then we moved up, but not as high, so it's another lower high, and ADD was trending down at this point. I told everybody, guys, if we can get through the second orange line, I believe we head down at least to this double bottom here, and if we get through that, we're looking for this guy here, and if we get through that, we're looking for the orange line next. All we do is look left, guys, okay? So as we get in here, we did make it down to that, this little guy right here. I know, doesn't seem like support, but it is. And that's where we stopped. And SPY and Qs were on a support at the same time. And I always tell people you should consider taking profits when both charts are on support at the same time. We pulled back. We made, we continued a downtrend here at this point. However, we were aiming for profits there. Some folks got in up here or stayed in from here, and then we just kept moving down. And each lower high we put in, we should assume we're going to break support, not hold it, and that gets you into some of these trades. So pink line became the next alert we had down. As you can see, we have all these alerts set so that if people are interested in taking these trades, a lot of them like to use those alerts as their reason to get out of the trades. That's up to you. That's how I use them. When I put alerts on the chart, people know that I'm in my trade and I'm going to be holding it till we hear that beep. But nonetheless, each one of these lower highs becomes reasons to take trades. We were hoping to get down to this orange line here. Once we got through the pink line, we couldn't make it. So our stopping point was a close back above the most recent lower high that we made on the way down. And that was pretty much the last trade of the day because, well, I get off the mic at 12 o'clock. Now, the market is making a big fat U-shaped recovery right now, or it was, which is nice, I guess, if you're still trading. But guys, you got to be careful out there. The market's all over the damn place. Contracts are expensive. These moves are big. And you can get quickly on the wrong side of it. So if you do find yourself in situations like this where you are up, even if it's not a lot of money on your first trade of the day, consider making it your only trade of the day. You have no idea, or maybe you do, how involved your emotions become in every subsequent trade that you take after your first one. I don't care if your first one's green or red. Whatever you do next is going to be directly correlated to the emotions that were created from the first one. I'm telling you, it's a fact. You can't undo it. You're not a robot. Everybody has feelings. Nobody likes to lose money. Everybody likes to make money. And when you couple that with any pain or joy that you got from your first trade, well, it makes for a potential disaster as you continue trading throughout the day. Don't believe me? Start keeping track of how often what was a good green day becomes even a little bit less green because you couldn't walk away, or perhaps even red on the day. Or if you had a good red day, how much more red usually it gets just because you continue to try and trade your way out of that. Don't listen to me. Don't take the statistics from the thousands of people who I've been polling for years that have told me that this is the case for them. Don't listen to any of that. Find out the hard way. Or try it and just see if your account starts to like you a little bit better. With that said, I appreciate you guys watching. We're going to wrap this up. As far as our Saturday morning sessions go, there's one topic that keeps coming up that I think we're going to talk about on Saturday. If you guys are interested, we're going to cover greed. We're going to cover greed. Greed's a good one. It's tough, and we all suffer from it. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, well, hopefully you can join us on Saturday morning. Not sure exactly what time yet, but probably going to be somewhere around 9 a.m. Eastern time Saturday morning. We'll go live on YouTube. And everybody is welcome to join if they want. With that said, I hope you found some useful information in this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to join our Discord community, well, we'd love to have you. The first week is completely free. You don't have to sign up for anything. You literally just show up in our Discord server by using the link, the Discord invite link, which is in the description of all my videos, or you can just Go add server on Discord and type in trading decoded with no spaces, and you'll show up there. Once you show up, your free week starts at that moment. No credit card information, no having to worry about canceling if you don't like what you get for the free week, so that you don't get charged and then have to ask for refunds and all that stuff. It's simple. Give us a try. You have nothing to lose. I'm here to try and help you. If I can't help you, thank you for stopping by. If I can, consider sticking around for a little bit longer. We have a bunch of people in there. We have lifers in there. We've got annual members in there. We've got all kinds of people in there. All right. And with that said, hope you found some money in the market today. And till tomorrow, I love you guys.